you are very active.
Yeah.
Was it one of the reasons why you started playing football?
My parents, actually, because they put me there because I had a lot of energy and they didn't know what to do with me. I don't know, because back then I was 16, 17. With 18, I achieved it, my first contract.
Lithuania.
Yes.
Cup winner?
Yes.
And you won the championship there.
Yes.
How was it?
So when I was walking there like 2 or 3 times, someone random just came up to me and asked me, sorry, one question, but what are you doing? And I will never forget this, like entering the restaurant and they stopped eating.
How was your process of transitioning outside of football?
The thing that started the social media, all this stuff, was by downloading TikTok back then in 2020 while Corona.
Fear or doubt?
Of course.
Yeah. Because
a lot, yeah, of course. With my dad, when I was talking to him on the phone, I knew after 2 minutes we'll get into a fight, because then he would ask this question, what about your thing? How is it going?
Because success sometimes it is measured by how much money you make.
Yeah.
Blue, welcome to the Sport Journey podcast. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. Thanks for asking. How about you?
I'm doing fine.
Nice.
Now that I see you, I'm doing even better.
Me too.
So I have seen some of your funny videos that you have been posting with your mom.
Yeah, as well.
So if your mom was sitting here instead of you, and I would ask her to describe you, to describe your personality and your character,
Okay.
what do you think she would say?
I think she would say I'm always making fun of everything, probably, and that I'm maybe getting on her nerves sometimes. But I think at the end she's also having a lot of fun with me, and when she sees the videos or like the results, she's really happy, especially when she goes through her comments and through the comments of the videos, and she sees like the people are saying, oh, your mom is so beautiful, so funny, blah, blah, blah. And then she shows me so proud, and I'm like, yeah, mom, you see, it's fun,
And about your character, like what would you say?
About my character, yeah, I mean that I'm never resting, probably, like all of the time when I go to her, and most of the time because she cooked. I always go there after my gym session, and she's then like not cursing, but she's like, hey, you're training too much, calm down, like what's going on with you? Like I'm loco in my head, And yeah, like probably that I do a lot of things. Mm-hmm. I think that those are the main characteristics, like that I probably like to dance a lot, but she knows that because I got it from her, like dancing Cuba, salsa. You have to dance salsa if you're Cuban. If you can't dance salsa, you The good thing is that I think 4 or 5 years ago I started dancing Cuba salsa.
Really?
So yes, actually
really
I do. Nice, really nice.
And there are a lot of parties here in Vienna, by the way. So you say that you are very active. Yeah, was it one of the reasons why you started playing football back in the days?
The reason, I guess, my parents actually, because they put me there, and it's a funny thing because they put me there because I had a lot of energy and they didn't know what to do with me, so they put me into football with 7. I also did judo. You say that?
Yes.
Judo. I played at another club just on weekends. I think FC Latinos. Just Latinos were playing there, and we would just met at the weekend for games.
That was in Vienna.
It was in Vienna, yeah. And so with 7, 8, 9, I literally did like, I forgot another really big part. I also did track and field.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yes. Yeah, track and field. And like those 3 to 4 things I did for like 1, 2, 3 years, just because they didn't know what to do with my energy. So
when was the time that you decided that you are gonna do it professionally?
I don't know. To be honest, I didn't really think about if it really was the goal I wanted to get. Mm-hmm. It was just a normal thing. It was the next step to do. Yes. But if I really wanted it, I don't know, because back then I was 16, 17. With 18, I achieved it, my first contract. Yes. I don't know if you can know with 16, 17 what you really want.
I don't think so.
I don't think so too.
Some people they do, but it's not the majority. So I wanted to ask you about specific questions that you faced during your career as an athlete. The first one you said it was when you signed your first professional contract. Do you remember that day?
Not all the details, but I remember that day. Yeah.
My dad came, for example, with a suit, and he was really living it when I signed my first contract. And the second one, when it was in Germany, in Leipzig, he was sitting in the room and he couldn't understand any word in English or in German. And he was just moving his head, like understanding what was happening, but he had no clue. So how was yours?
I went there with my dad too. It was at Austria Wien.
Yes.
Yeah, we signed a contract for 4 years. And no, we were really happy for sure, yeah, and really proud. And because I was still in school,
Yes.
So when I got back to school, I was actually someone who paid taxes, like what the fuck? Like I go to school and pay taxes, get my money for playing football. It's crazy to hear. Actually, it's a really nice thing.
Did you have a different behavior from your teachers, from your friends, because you were a professional football player?
No, they didn't really change. No, we were sometimes talking about it, maybe, yeah. But my teammates in school,
yes,
they also didn't change, but they were happy for me. There was not like a bad blood or something, or like jealousy or something. I think they maybe looked at it more at a motivation, to get also there. Yes. But I was not one of the first that got the first contract, like we had other guys that got their contract already with, I don't know, 16 or something, so I was not one of the first ones. So. First
big moment is when you signed the contract. The second big moment, at least for me, and I want to know if it was also for you, it's when you play your first game in the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
Do you remember it?
Yeah. The very first game, I mean, I don't know if it counts, but of course it counts, but I didn't touch the ball,
Really?
I came in for the last 3 minutes. I didn't touch the ball. It was so funny though, because it was at Austria Wien. The coach was Thorsten Fink, and the time was running, and everyone was like, "Yo, pass the ball to Blue because he has to touch the ball at least one time in his first Bundesliga game." Yeah, but we couldn't do it. No, we had the ball, then we lost it. It went out. They got a free kick, went to the other side. I'm like, pass me the ball. And I think that when someone tried to pass me the ball, as the ball came, the referee whistled and the game was over.
Oh.
And then I was like,
it was not your day too.
Yeah. But still, I was super happy. My dad was proud,
The next chapter I would like to ask you is your first time playing abroad in Lithuania.
Yes.
Cup winner.
Yes.
And you won the championship there.
Yes.
How was it?
It was different.
It was different?
Different kind of football.
And the challenges also maybe, that you faced going to a new country.
Yeah, these two. Yeah, these two. Like, I mean, the people were nice, were nice. Let's say they were just not used to me, like someone exotic like me, like I got sometimes asked, especially in the mall, when you went to the mall, every day you saw all of the people living there, I'm talking about the city called Kaunas. That's where I was living. The club was playing in Mariampolė. It's a really small village town, with I think 40 to 50 or maybe 30k people. And in Kaunas we had 300k, the second biggest city in Lithuania. So when I was walking there, like 2 or 3 times, someone random just came up to me and asked me, "Sorry, one question, but what are you doing here?" And I'm like, "Bro, actually this is planet Earth, what are we all doing here, So, bro, but I just told him, I think I just told him that I was studying here. I didn't even tell him that I was playing football because I thought that he would have no clue about football. So I just said, "Bro, I'm just studying here, And I will never forget this, like entering the restaurant and they stopped eating. You literally could hear the fork and knives fall onto the plate like this, looking like that. And I'm like, Hi. Coming in peace. But it was a fun time, like you get a lot of new experiences. and my coach was from Kazakhstan, and I had to learn Russian.
You couldn't speak English.
No English, okay, no German, of course. And yeah, that was a pretty funny challenge. But I was kind of lucky because my ex-girl back then was from Russia.
Mm-hmm.
So every time she was at the game, he came and they were talking like her, and was super happy to see her because she talks Russian and blah blah blah. But yeah, without her, I
would have been harder.
Hard there, yeah.
How did you spend your time there? Like during the day, you had the
just
training.
At the mall.
Yeah, just at the mall. Yes.
Nah, but I mean the mall was great. They had like 2 really big malls, and when you think about Vienna and Kaunas, actually the second biggest city, not Vilnius, not the capital. If you would compare Kaunas and Vienna, you would think, yeah, what is Kaunas to Vienna? You know, like when I talk about malls, you maybe expect a small mall with not many, I don't know, stores or stuff like that. But they had really 2 really big malls, and I think we don't even have them in Vienna that big, you know, and that advanced, you know, like they had a lot of stores, restaurants, bar bars. So I had everything, you know, also a cinema, you know, everything was inside.
The level of football comparing to Austria?
The level of football, yeah, very different, very different.
Was it hard to adapt?
I think not so much for me, like in my opinion, and like, you know, what is important, the expectations of the coach, you know, what he wants. And I think there was maybe a misunderstanding because they thought I come for the left back position.
Yes.
And I'm actually a right back, you know? Mm-hmm. So for 4 or like half a year, the time I was staying there, they tried to train my left foot for crosses, you know? So I was just on the left side, and actually not so bad for me, but yes. Yeah, like in the beginning, I wasn't playing too much, you know? Like just after like 5-6 games, then I got to play and it was good, yeah. But comparing again, the level to Vienna, to Austria, I would say here's more, you got more rules, more tactics, more strict behavior, you know, more structure. There it was, I don't know, free, you know, like you sometimes didn't know what to expect, you know. And the next thing was you didn't have so many teams that were on the same level, you know. In Lithuania, when I was there, I think there was like eight teams in the first league. And when I came there, 2 teams couldn't play anymore because they had no money anymore or something happened, I don't know. And then you just got left with 4 teams that were on the same level, and the rest was like, yeah, not on the same level. And there was not just a little gap, there was a bigger gap, you know, when you could maybe say a huge gap, you know. You maybe can think of when there's such a huge gap, the infrastructure at those clubs looked like here 3rd, 4th division, you know.
Yeah.
And that's not what you should expect, I think, when you play in the 1st division, you know.
I understand.
Yeah.
The next chapter is a relegation battle with St. Pölten. What did you take out of this time?
This was a hard time because we didn't expect to even play the relegation. We actually started really good in this season. We had a cool team, a lot of fun every day. And actually, we never expected that. A lot of stuff happened though, like stress, coaches change, like in weeks, and every coach tried something new, and we actually tried to get behind the problem, but actually never really did. You know, maybe we would have if we would have talked more with each other. It's not nice to be relegated, yeah. Because players get into a light they sometimes don't deserve, you know, like that after a rainy day the sunshine is coming out again. Maybe
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And next chapter is training under Peter Pacult. Is what I want to ask you. Like, how did you experience that chapter of your life?
This is a whole
The whole podcast.
No, but this question has its own chapter. That's so funny to me because, what can I say? Peter Pacult is a really special and funny guy. Yeah.
Would you do it again? Like to train under him?
I mean, I did it for 2 years, I could also have said, like, after 1 month, I'm out of here. I can't do this anymore, Peter Pacult is really, I was said it before, funny and special guy. The training it's just really hard, He's old school. And maybe I had a advantage because a really good friend of mine and a coach I really liked, I really still like, we're still in contact, is Andy Ogris, And they kind of from the same old school, They maybe don't do the same training, but, the vibe and stuff, I vibe with that. I would have said another word now, but I can't say it. I beep with that, you know what?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so the training was really hard, and I'm that type of guy. I like hard training, Yeah, okay, but sometimes he was really, really hard, So hard that I remember some trainings I was like, is this really happening right now? Those moments when you come into the locker room, the coach is coming, doesn't say one word, he just says, we don't need any balls today.
And
you just
yes.
did this. Mom, dad, family, I love you. Because and actually I don't want to have a lot of days off because I know when I come back I get after 3 days off, we were like kind of happy, but also kind of just wait what comes after 3 days. Just wait what comes after 3 days,
I also a nickname gotten from him. Am I right?
From
trainer, from coach.
Peter Pacult? Yeah? Which one?
Choco Banana?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's another topic.
That's another topic.
I don't know if you can talk about it here, Like, I mean, I liked his humor, Like,
yes.
Maybe some other guys didn't like it too much. But as I said, I kind of grew up with Andy Ogris, same old school, and I was used to that. I kind of think it's funny,
So you had no problem, I mean.
I had no problem. But others were like, yeah. Not so happy, let's say,
One thing I admire of you is the decision you took when you were 28 years old to stop playing football, even though you were playing still in the first league here in Austria. Because I know a lot of athletes, they don't have the courage maybe to take this decision because it has been this one thing that you have been doing all your life, and when this is not there anymore, and you don't know where you are good at, then you might face some problems there. And a lot of athletes going into depression and they feel really, really bad. How was your process of transitioning outside of football?
Yeah, it was still not easy, I mean, because as you said, football, for footballers, it's your life, You start playing with 7 and actually you kind of live in that world, in that bubble, Football is everything. Football is your life. Everything we think turns around football, But it's actually really not like that, I was lucky because the thing that started the social media, all this stuff, was by downloading TikTok back then in 2020 while Corona. Everyone did it. I think TikTok was the most downloaded app during COVID. Yeah. I straight saw that this was my thing. I loved to do funny videos. I loved when people were entertained, when they were laughing because of me. When I got messages saying, hey, I love your content, you're so funny, made my day. I'm so glad that I found your account, that just
resonated with you.
I love this feeling, and yeah. It would be great if I could just live from that, but that's not the deal, yeah.
And once you got this feedback, it was also the time you decided to stop playing, or did it come?
No, this was before already. Yeah. This was coming all the time. Let's say the more I produce, more content I do, of course, the funnier it is, the more reactions I get, you know. And it's going on for since 2020, like till now, you know. So all these comments I see often actually, and I'm very, very glad and grateful for that, because that gets me even more going, you know, more motivation, because I just want to get better with my mimics and with my acting, you know, because that's also the next thing. Actually, I want to go into that more and deeply. Because
you take classes?
Yeah, I want to take it. Yeah.
When did you decide that now is the time to stop? Because you were already doing some videos.
Yeah, I was doing all the time, and then also started to upload those funny videos on Instagram.
Yes.
Because I thought, why not, you know? And I saw that it's also really working well on Instagram as well. So,
but let me ask you something. You did your first video. Next day you go to the dressing room. What happens?
I think I told nobody, but actually I was doing some TikTok videos with Mani Zakaria.
Yes.
We were doing some TikTok videos, and like he was actually in my first viral video. Yeah, it was so funny.
What did you do? Do you remember?
It was a trend, you know. Actually, just there was a sound, Indian sound.
Yes.
And you had to find an Indian guy and just to film him, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was just a perfect matchup. But the next thing was that he's also really good looking. So there was a lot of girls like, oh, he's so good looking. Oh my God. Yeah. This guy was probably also happy. Yeah.
Was there any fear or doubt with
Of course.
taking? Yeah. Because
a lot. Yeah, of course.
Looking back now.
Still, some things got me so motivated and going that I didn't care about it, because after
was the fear of rejection, or what was?
I mean, of course, you have it maybe all the time, that fear of rejection, because you post a video every day, you post yourself out there every day, and there are always people that will judge you, always. And I think the bigger you get, the more people will judge you. And this is just something I think you have to accept, you know. What never gets out of my head is that, and I think this is a good example for people dealing with this kind of problem. Just think of Ronaldo or Messi.
Yes.
There are still people that say Ronaldo is bad, Messi is bad. And I'm like,
after everything they have done.
Bro, I don't care if you're a Ronaldo fan. You can't say Messi is bad. You maybe can say he did a bad pass, okay? Okay. But bro, you know, and this is, I'm kind of glad to realize that, because if people like that have people that judge them or say they are bad, bro, who are you? You know, like, then of course people would judge you too, you know, if people like those two get judged. So everybody gets judged. And I think you just have to accept that, you know, like, or like negative comments or something like that, you know.
It happens also to you, even though you post positivity.
Exactly.
When the first negative comment happened to you, did you take it personally, or it was like a process, or it helped you because you played football and you had already...
Exactly, I just want to say that. Yes. You know that from football, it's maybe, a good thing, a thing you learn from football. How to deal with criticism, you know? You know, it's like you get criticism from all directions.
Yes.
Your friends, coach, of course, teammates, the clubs, fathers. Fathers should be on this thing, right? You know, if the coach is saying good game, the club is saying good game, other clubs saying, oh yeah, we want you. If you come home and your dad is saying, you scored 2 goals, but you could have scored 4. So, sorry, this kind of helped me to deal with negativity, you know, because you're used to that, you know. It's maybe not so easy, because you get criticized a lot, maybe even in your young years, you know, when you are 11, 12, 13, you know. I remember having fights with my dad, not talking for 2-3 days, because I didn't hit the ball and then we got a goal or something, you know. When someone says, I'm like, okay, bro, I don't even know you, so...
And you don't respond to these comments, like not I mean to the positive ones.
To the negative ones, I never respond, actually.
Okay. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make any sense. And I also think, like, why should I waste my time and energy on that,
Yes.
Like, I gotta be honest, still, sometimes it can be triggering, Let's say you have a bad day, you're already provoked, and then you see this, you're like...
Well, it's a challenge. It's a challenge for you not to react. What inspired your style of content? And what is the process of posting a video or recording a video?
Yeah, to make people laugh, actually, to entertain them, like this is probably those kind of videos I like to do most,
Yes.
But those last 1, 2 years, let's say 2 years, I also posted more stuff of fashion and fitness,
Yes.
Not because I knew there is probably more money in it, because if you post fashion and fitness, you get maybe more cooperations with many brands, because doing funny videos, it doesn't bring, like, let's say, too much cooperations or like money, But I was like, hey, why am not doing this too? Because I like fashion.
Yes.
And of course I love fitness, I love to move, to train, to get better, to look better, to be healthy, live healthy. And I was like, why am I not sharing this too, because I can help people. I like to do it. I like to film. It's a perfect match.
Because you said funny videos doesn't bring you any income. Have you ever thought about stand-up comedy?
I don't know. I still don't see myself there so much. I don't know. I'm not. I don't think I'm that type of guy that tells funny jokes. I think I'm more the type of guy that tells stories in a funny way with my mimic and stuff, I think. What I know for sure, I have a lot of funny stories I could tell that people wouldn't believe me, probably. So maybe one day, we'll see. We'll see.
The funniest thing that has happened behind the cameras, but you never post it.
I also can't tell that. Oh.
Have you been maybe unsure for a video and you did post it at the end?
Yeah, sometimes I was like, I'm not sure if I should post it, if it goes too far or not. And actually, most of the times it turned out well,
Yes.
But I'm still thinking of a funny video, a funny story, right?
Maybe it comes later.
Maybe it comes later, yes.
What was the longest you filmed? Because we see a video that it lasts 1 minute maybe.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of work behind it.
Yeah, no, maybe even shorter. Most of my videos go to like 10 to 30 seconds or something like that. Yeah.
And how much work do you put in a video like this?
When I want to do fitness content or fashion, I always try to have the best cuts and, like on point with the music drop, all this stuff. Like fitness and fashion, kind of similar work, but when it comes to funny videos, I always look at my mimic and how I act, how my acting was. And when I have the perfect video, I still do it like 5 times and try something else. In that way, I did like maybe 30, 40, 50 videos or something.
Wow.
I don't know. I just sometimes it's so much fun. I already got the best video, but I still want to do it,
More.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's an addiction.
Yeah, it's an addiction. Yes.
The video that you are the most proud of, video/campaign.
What I really liked was the video with Puma doing my first high rocks. Together with Markus, he's a friend and also a work colleague at Shaped, the studio I'm a coach. It was really cool because first of all, it was my first high rocks, and he got a special pass where he could move inside of the circle of the road, So he was always near to me, and that was kind of fun. The video turned out fire. And what also happened, and I think that's a funny story, actually. A funny story I can tell, because no one knows that, I think. Just my inner circle knows that. But when I start, high rocks, you know how to do it. Like you run 1 kilometer, then you have exercise, run again, and you run 8 times in total and have 8 stations, right? So I run 1 kilometer, get to the first station, do it. I'm half done. And it was sled push, like it's exercise that's really like you get exhausted. And I was half done. I was first there. I was like, damn, okay, I'm fast. Good job, keep going. Yeah. And then Marcus, he's taking pictures and videos while I'm doing it. And he's like, Blue, did you went to the first station already? And I'm like, this is the second station. What am I doing here? I run to the wrong station. That was the second one. I was like, fuck me. So I was running to the first. And yeah, lost time, lost strength. Because sled push, I think you're pushing like 150 kilograms or something. Like 4 rows. And I finished 2 already. So that was so funny. And I was in my head, I was like, I know exactly what my friends will say. I know exactly what they say. I kind of expected that this would happen. Like, out of all people, I expected that this would happen to you, probably.
So what did you learn about yourself during the time that you took the decision to stop playing football and becoming a content creator? What is this one thing?
What I learned, thing that I learned is that hard work and persistence gets paid off, As I said, it wasn't a nice time sometimes, because if people from 2nd or 3rd division would look at me and see that I stopped playing football with 28 in the highest league, they maybe think I'm stupid or crazy or something's wrong with me, I didn't care about that, but those weren't the only ones. It got worse and worse the more time was passing and no results were coming, because then my friends would get nervous. Like, what are you doing now? Like, is it paying off? Is this really what you want to do? And then your family comes too,
Of course.
Dad, mom, like, I stopped playing football 2023 summer. No, actually end of 2023 already. Questions from my dad, from my mom. Hey, is this really paying off? Is this something for the future? Is this secure? Can you do that? Can you live from that? I'm like, what can you say? Like, the only thing I could say, I don't know, because I just know I really want this. I really want this, and that's what I'm doing now, and that's what I want to risk now.
I understand them, but the thing is, because I also had the same things in different projects I was doing or I'm still doing, but they don't see what you see. They have their own lenses.
Yeah, exactly.
There are things. I don't think so that your mom or dad could see that, or some years ago they would say I would become a content creator for themselves. No. So for them it's something completely new, something unknown.
Yeah.
And of course they love you.
Exactly, yeah. Those 2 things that you just mentioned were the reasons I didn't take it personal from them, or like getting hatred, like, because sometimes I was like sitting there alone thinking, why are they not supporting me?
Yes.
They're the only ones, the closest I have now. After those questions or those doubts, you think this is helping me, because I'm also here alone. This is not helping me. But those 2 reasons that I knew they love me and they actually just are scared made me realize, okay, they don't want anything bad for me, or they not trying to push me down or something. They just are concerned, about me and about my future. With my dad, when I was talking to him on the phone, I knew after 2 minutes we would get into a fight, because then he would ask this question, what about your thing? How is it going? is it good? How is it going? And I could just say, yeah, I'm doing my best, but this was not enough.
Because success sometimes it is measured by how much money you make.
Yeah.
So now if tomorrow you wake up and you are 18 years old, you have all the experience and all the knowledge you have until today.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to yourself?
Open my eyes a little more,
Yes.
Like, don't think of football just as a bubble, Still do other things. Just don't put too much pressure on yourself. And maybe don't take stuff personal from your inner circle, because they just actually care about you. And maybe sometimes they don't express it in the best way,
Yes.
Now
the second part of the interview, I have prepared 5 questions, and you have to reply either by saying one word or just a phrase.
Okay.
Okay. What's the weirdest DM you ever received?
the wildest, the world.
Yes.
Bro. If some people would see that right now, I think some would know what I should say, but I swear I can't say. It's really...
But you have to share it with me off the record.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I can say it now, but you probably would cut it off. It's dirty, It's because she saw me in her feet, Thanks for coming on my feet. Next time, try on my face.
Oh my God. Now I got it. That's a crazy one.
Yeah, I told you.
So what is the advice to our listeners to make dreams a reality?
Don't listen to your parents. No, but really, I think when you do the stuff where you got the most fire in you, I think you should just keep that fire and go for it. Go for the stuff you are most feeling alive, I think this passion and this fire in you allows you to do all the things around it to get successful, because just doing the things you love won't get you anywhere. You need to get those things done that you don't want to do too, because I'm not really the best business guy, I needed still some structure, and this was kind of the missing puzzle,
Yes.
And I have to say, since I got my management and got my stuff, all this office and all this paperwork stuff checked, since then it's running much better, I got to know people that I'm working with. They helped me. I connected, and this all comes together then with my fire, and then it explodes. It went up. Yeah.
Next big goal.
I mean, my goal is always to grow, my socials.
Yes. Acting is one of them?
Yeah, acting is one of them for sure. Yeah. Yeah, but they actually told me not to tell it. But I could talk around it,
Yes.
Because a lot of people told me to go into reality TV, And I'm talking about those reality TV shows where you're a lot of the time in a bikini or in a bath suit or,
Not the one that you are the only one and there are 12, 13 women. And...
You're talking about Bachelor?
Yes, I think that's
No, but actually this one would be more, let's say, mature or less crazy. Mm-hmm. But I actually also got an invitation from Bachelor and or Bachelorette. Yes. Yeah, where we were 20 guys and for fighting for one girl. I'm like, when I go to a reality TV show, I don't want to have 19 guys with me, At least I want to be equal, let's say 8 girls, 8 guys, Yes. So I also got an invitation here in this area, Austria, Germany. But I was watching those series and I was like, nah, I can't do this. I mean, first of all, I actually never watched it on my own. I always got dragged into because of my ex-girlfriends, because they love this trash and gossip, I have to admit though, after some time, I was also invested. I was like, oh my God, he did do that. And oh my God, how could he do that to Tracy? What the fuck? Yeah. You know, this kind of stuff, you know? Like, so, yeah. I got an invitation from an actually big reality TV show. I'm not saying the name now because they told me not to say. And it's from, it's from America, you know? And I was like,
that's a good way.
That's actually quite big. So when I'm making a fool out of me, at least I'm on a big platform, you know?
And everybody will know you.
And everybody will know me. Yeah, so what fascinated me was that they wanted to know all the details, everything.
About your life.
About my life, how I grew up. I mean, on one hand, it's really...
It makes sense, though.
It makes sense, you know, because it's really big. So they want to get people that are, I don't know, right in the head, probably, you know, and don't have like huge records of, I don't know, some bad stuff they did or went to prison, blah, 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 all this shit. I can just say I would do it. I would do it, yeah.
That would be all from my side. I just want to thank you because you shared your story, which I find really inspiring. Because you found a second passion and you went for it. People that have success in life are the people who keep doing what they love, and they keep fighting for what they love. And you are an example of it.
Thank you.
And I hope that our listeners, they're going to take something out of your journey.
Yeah,
they're going to implement it in their own lives and see what happens.
I would feel really grateful if this could help anyone or just make their day today or entertain them. And thanks for having me. And actually, I would like to come again.
And I wish you a lot of fun and good luck also to all the projects that they keep coming now.
Thank you.
And I'm waiting for the next video, the next funny video that is going to make my day.
Producing every day,
Yes.
every day.
It was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure too. Thank you.